Hello, everyone. This video is an introduction to the upcoming class on the Tarot, and its purpose is twofold. One is to provide some pre-study for those of you who are already enrolled. And if that's you, please watch the video all the way through. I think I can keep it to about 10 minutes. And secondly, it's for those of you who have inquired about the class, or maybe you haven't heard about it, and now you're hearing about it and you're not sure what the Tarot is or why this class would be of interest to you. So let me talk about what the Tarot is and what it isn't. And I'll start with what it is not. It is not a divination tool or a fortune-telling device. People use it for that, and that's fine. And there might be some power and usefulness for people in sort of having your cards pulled, so to speak. But that's not really what the Tarot is about or intended to be at all. It is actually the symbolic, pictorial story of the soul. It is the story of creation. It is the story of how the universe came into being, how we came into being, what we're doing here, what the purpose of it is. It's much bigger than just sort of wanting to know, what the next year is going to look like for you. So it's something that is applicable if you are engaged in your healing process in a bigger sense above and beyond sort of taking care of your body. And that's most of you. If you're getting this email, this video, then you've connected with the need for soul healing on some level, or for your own awakening. That's a process that you're engaged in. And the Tarot is really a magnificent tool for that, because it's all laid out right there in plain sight. And the study of the Tarot is not just about revealing these secrets in an intellectual way, but the study of them actually activates within us the innate healing process that is a part of our soul. So it's both a study and a practice at the same time. So let me share my screen here and give a little bit more background information. Okay. So what you're looking at here is called the Tableau. It is all 22 cards of the major arcana laid out in 4 rows. The single card on the top is considered a row 1, and then 2, 3, and 4. And you can read this on your own as well, but this first row is considered the archetypal realm. This next row down is the realm of it is the creative realm, the realm of principles. The archetypal realm up top here is the realm of pure ideas, or pure idea. The third row is the formative realm, which is the realm of agencies. And the final row is the material realm, which is the realm of results. So what that means is that when we study the progression of consciousness from here to here, we are moving from archetypal to creative to formative to material. We're moving top to bottom, and we're moving left to right, so that we end up down here. I'll just spoil the ending for you right now. This is a picture of the ultimate expression of the human being and what we're all working towards, cosmic consciousness. So this is what we're studying. We're studying each one of these cards, all of the symbolism, the colors, shapes, the Hebrew letter, the number, the numerology, what it all means within its own context, and then what it all means within the context of where it sits on the tableau, its relationship to the other cards. And as we study this, it's going to provide a lot of context for your life experience, for your healing process. It's impossible to study this and not have constant experiences of, aha, that's what that was, or this is what I have had a sense that I'm working towards. And my favorite thing about the Tarot is that it makes everything that we experience make sense in a, even when it's got a mysteriousness to it, which it always will have, it begins to make sense, at least in terms of this larger context, because what we find is that there is nothing that we can experience that isn't shown to us somewhere here in symbolic form. There is no off of the tableau. There's nothing that's happening to us, for us, within us, in our life experience, in our relationships, that isn't depicted somewhere here. And so for me, it was always very encouraging to see that no matter what I was going through, in a sense, somebody had been there before and actually drawn a picture of it. And that was just sort of nice to know. Um, so that's the tableau. The Tree of Life here is the essence of the Kabbalah. So when you hear people talk about studying the Kabbalah, what they mean is they study the Tree of Life. And the Tree of Life has these 10 spheres. Number 1 up here, the crown. And they are numbered 1 through 10. If you trace this, actually, 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way down, you're actually tracing a bolt of lightning, which has strong implications. We'll talk about that later. But in addition to these 10 spheres, there are 22 paths that connect the 10 spheres. Not coincidentally, that is the same, of course, number of cards in the major arcana, and you can see that each of those cards fits on one of these pathways. So when we study the card and all of its symbolism and where it fits on the tableau, we also will come back and talk about what pathway it sits on. These are called the 32 paths of wisdom. The 32 meaning the 10 spheres plus the 22 connections between them. So you get 32. So for example, this card right here is the Empress. And so when we talk about her, she's number 3. We not only talk about that symbolism, but what it means that she is on this pathway between wisdom and understanding. So that is the Tree of Life. And the Tree of Life coincides with this meditation, prayer, affirmation. This is really a very, very powerful thing to utilize the pattern on the trestle board. As it says right here, this is the truth. This is the truth about the self. And you can read these statements aloud. And as you read them aloud, you can correlate them with the number of the sphere from the Tree of Life. So it starts at 0, so I should clarify. The 0 is the background, this black background, the realm of the unmanifest, or what is called the shimmering darkness. And so you can look at this black background and say to yourself, all the power that ever was or will be is here now. That's the first statement about the self that is true. And then you can come to the sphere of wisdom in your mind or with your eyes or both and say, oh, excuse me, skipped one. Come to the crown and say out loud, I am a center of expression for the primal will to good, which eternally creates and sustains the universe, and so on and so forth. Really recommended that you utilize this as you are studying the Tarot, as you are engaged in the courses. You can say this, you can simply read down it first thing in the morning. You can also read it backwards at night is an interesting way to utilize it, reading from 10 to 0 before going to bed. But as you read these statements to yourself and allow them to impress themselves upon you, and as you study the meaning of these cards and their place on the tree of life and in the tableau. Um, this is not something that you need to have a massive intellectual understanding of at the end, again, because of the power of the universal symbolism that is at play here. This is being imprinted upon the subconscious, and your subconscious knows what these symbols represent. They are universal in nature. As we talk about them and you work with these cards, things will change for you. It would be virtually impossible for that to not be the case. You can, if you feel so inclined, order these cards to color in. Historically, that is a pretty important part of going through the process, but again, this is an introduction, not required. If you want to do it, you can get in touch with me and I'll let you know where to get the blank cards. So that's it. That's what we're studying. That's what the Tarot is about. And at the end of this, you will have a great deal of context about your life experience and the soul journey. I think so many of us have questions about what we're doing here. Well, here it is. It's laid out here in plain sight. So if that is of interest to you and you have not signed up, you can just email me. If you're seeing this, that's because I have your email and you've expressed interest in these sorts of things, and you can just email me back and I can let you know the details. It is not required that you be in attendance live for any of the courses, because again, all of this will be shared and uploaded onto Teachable, where you can engage with it in whatever timing works for you. So that's it. I hope you are all well and healthy, and I really look forward to seeing you starting on Wednesday. Take care.